I was at a choir concert for a daughter of mine, and the little tradition is after to go out for a DQ. And Dave Dietz, who's a fellow parent, as we do, a seventh grader in this particular choir concert, and I were chit-chatting after, and he threw out an idea that created a bit of a spark and has led to the creation of 4 foundational pillars: faith, family, freedom, and free enterprise, which we're going to stand for, always have, always will, but club membership or alliances in each of those 4 categories where we assemble 400, limited to 400 people in each of those to really be our founding fathers, to be our eyes and ears, to guide us, to lead us, to have special access to what we do, to give them voice. And so I want to tell you a little bit about this idea and how it came to be. And ask Dave Dietz to come sit behind the microphone today and do it. How are you, David?
Good, Scott. Good to be here.
Let's give a free enterprise plug for Heartland Capital, first of all. Dave is, I'm trying to think now, how many years?
6 years.
A lot of years worked for the Offutt companies.
I did.
And most recently, were you at Castleton? Were you running that shop?
I was, yes.
On at RDO Equipment in Castleton?
Yes.
And 6 years ago, decided to start your own business, go out on your own.
I did.
And what do you do?
I have a finance company. We focus mainly on financing the agricultural machinery, a lot of loans and leases to farmers in the Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota area. So it's been a good business.
So the nice thing that where you help your customers is, you finance some significant equipment purchases, but sort of keep them off the balance sheets, basically.
Exactly,
right?
Yes.
That's the advantage to them.
You bet.
Keep their balance sheets a little healthier.
You bet.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I was talking to Dave about this second bite at the apple of an effort and an opportunity to purchase the flag. And Dave was just kind of, how are you planning on doing this? And I said, well, we need about $1 million, for the purchase of the flag. We've got some expenses with moving it. We're merging it with our Bakken operation, putting these 2 radio stations together. So, $1.5 million, $1.6 million, somewhere like that. You said, I'd write you a check for $1,000. And I talk to people all the time who, feel the same way and probably would do the same thing. Explain for our listeners why you would do that.
Scott, I think one of the things that I see and maybe I've come to appreciate and respect with your time in radio is the fact that there needs to be a voice out there to support the things of faith and freedom, family, and free enterprise. And those are issues that are near and dear to me. I mean, I'm a small business owner. I have concerns about the direction of our country and what effects that could have on us. I have customers that share those same concerns. A young family. I'm worried about the things that are taking place in this nation, how that affects their future. I'm worried about my religious freedoms. I see things in our church that are under attack. I'm grave concern for that. I mean, I think it's a huge issue, but yet don't have the resources, don't have the money, to buy a billboard alongside the interstate to preach what I believe in and maybe to share with other people what I think is important. So, my thought and the recommendation I made to you is that, if you can gather a group of people, it's a lot easier to attack an issue if you have a number of people standing behind you versus 1, 2, or 3 major people standing behind you. So, I guess I thought that was maybe an interesting approach. And for me, it allows me to write a check and to make certain that the things that I value are being promoted on a day-to-day basis throughout your radio program, throughout your website, the different things that you do to promote that. And I guess I feel really important about that. That's it's not a huge sacrifice for me. I mean, $1,000 is $1,000. It's a lot of money, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make sure that message gets shared day in and day out.
We took your idea, David, and we added a little something to it to say, hey, we very much are humbled by the fact that you and others would be willing to do this. Here's what we're willing to give back.
Right.
Is that a good fit, you think?
I like it. Scott, I think one of the things I've found over time too, if you separate the politics from the issues that you're talking about here, I think these are issues and items that most of us believe in. I mean, we have strong feelings about our families and their future. We have strong feelings about our churches. Strong feelings about our freedom. I mean, that's a huge deal. I've never been a member of an armed service group, but I've watched your support and exposure of people that have served our country and understand the price that they've paid. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be able to ensure that we continue to promote that message to keep those people in the forefront, and just to make certain that goes forward.
And I know you've said before too that, like me, Dave Dietz is with me, and Dave planted a seed on this idea that has evolved and led to the creation of these 4 groups. And so I asked Dave to come on today and talk a little bit about why he's doing this and his support, and talk a little bit about how this idea came to be. And you and I talked about how much reverence we have for veterans, and what they do. And one of the fun things that we can do with this radio program is celebrate them. And Rusty Ort's a great example of that. I mean, he's literally starting a business as a result of an idea you and I cooked up at a Dairy Queen. You know what I mean?
No, that's exactly right. And I, Scott, I admire the time that you've given to keep that on the forefront, because it's extremely important. I value every freedom I've been given in this country, and it's allowed me, to practice my religion, to raise a family, to start a business. That's huge. That's just absolutely huge. And I, again, not having been part of an armed services group, I have deep respect. I mean, I get to go home at night and lay my head on the pillow in a warm bed, and I know there are people that are out in the desert that are defending our country, our beliefs, our values, and that's extremely important. I appreciate the fact that you give credit to that and exposure to it.
Don't feel like we even scratched the surface, because as you say, boy, is that easy to take for granted.
It is.
When you get up every day and get in your nice little car and your warm garage and off to the office and, kiss the kids, tuck them into bed, off to school they go, and kind of get in your little routines. And my gosh, there's family members without loved ones who are overseas in harm's way.
Absolutely.
Defending every one of those freedoms we hold so dear. And, in the case of Rusty, out on patrol one night and stationed, unfortunately, at a place called Mortaritaville, takes a hit from an incoming shell and now has traumatic brain injury.
Yep.
It's just incredible, all because he cared enough to serve and defend those freedoms. So that's a tiny part of what we can do. But I do want you to know that every one of these club members, I think probably the most important thing you're going to do is help a wounded warrior start a new business. Yep. And I'm really convinced that if he's able to do this and we're able to get to 1,600 members of the Faith, Family, Freedom, or Free Enterprise Alliance, he'll be able to use that story for vets groups everywhere. This is a good way to do a little membership drive, and he does a very nice job with these cases and flags, and it's really neat. So
very nice.
It's another piece of the puzzle, all because we decided to fatten ourselves up on a little bit of a treat at a Dairy Queen one night after a school event. Isn't it amazing?
That's right.
Yeah. So do you think we can do this? You think that we'll look back a year from now or 6 months from now or at some point down the road and say, look what that idea started. Look at all these 400 Club fellow warriors of yours.
I certainly hope so. I have a lot of conversations with customers, and it's interesting. I think if you're from the Midwest, you share a common set of values and beliefs. I think you get frustrated sometimes when you look at what goes on in our country. I think one of the things I hear repeatedly from customers is that the problems that we have to deal with in this country are pretty common sense solutions. I mean, it's not difficult to fix issues that we have going on. Unfortunately, I think you hear, the extremes of both ends of it and ideas for how people think that should take place. But I don't know. This is a great opportunity to assure that the message continues to be delivered, that people continue to hear common sense ideas, common sense solutions for the problems that we are up against. And, I'll reiterate, my time is finite. My financial resources are finite. But I think if you can assemble a group large enough to make an impact, the message will be delivered. People will hear it.
I mean, Ronald Reagan said all great change in America happens at the dinner table. Yeah. This takes a conversation over generations to ultimately turn this thing back around.
Well, and Scott, I appreciate the fact that you said that because, I have friends that, again, vote on both sides of the aisles, but one of the things that repeatedly comes up is just a straightforward idea, a common sense solution on how to fix something. I am blessed with the opportunity every day to work with farmers, and they're the ultimate risk takers. They're the ultimate solution providers. I mean, they're up against challenges every day, and they take on those challenges. They deal with them. They try to figure out a solution on how to solve the problem. They get after it. That's what makes their businesses successful. That's what feeds our world. So this is a huge deal.
All right, folks, flagfamily.com if you want to know more about this. If you'd like more information, we will obviously give you all the information that you need to participate in this in any way, shape, or form. Starts today. Same thing if you don't just make a phone call. You can call us at 855-200-1776, 855-200-1776. Mail us a note, 3301 South University Drive, Fargo, North Dakota, 58103. We have all that information up at flagfamily.com. Keep listening. We'll tell you more about it 24/7 online at flagfamily.com. God bless you one and all. We'll see you again Monday on the Common Sense Club and the Scott Aaron Show. Thanks, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't